Hey guys, welcome back to GG's with just the G's. It's just Cass, solo episode again. All my girls are happy, all the guys are probably mad, but everyone's gonna have to deal with it. Hi, happy Thursday. We made it through the hump. We made it through the tough part of the week. It was a full week this week. Sucks, but you did it. You're almost there. It's almost Friday. Happy almost Friday. Best day of the week, best vibes. The vibes should be high. I hope they are. They are for me. We had a good day today. I've been in a little bit of a little rut recently, I guess you could say. Hadn't hit the gym in a little while, and we got that today. We got back on it. The first step to getting out of that rut is to recognize that you are in it and start thinking of solutions, which is what we did. We can always appreciate an effort to try. And even if you don't, just pretend you did. And then I appreciate it. And I'm proud of you. We're going to have a little mini cat episode. So buckle up. We're just going to rip some headlines, rip some what's hot. And yeah, let's just get right into it. I was supposed to go to Governor's Ball this weekend. Govs, I don't know if it's Govs Ball or Gov Ball or Governor's Ball. I was supposed to go. It's the music festival that's like the Lollapalooza and Coachella in New York City. And now, like, we don't even know if that's going to happen because of this crazy smoke from the wildfires. If you guys haven't seen what New York City looks like, it literally looks like scenes from like an apocalyptic film. Anybody who wants to create some type of like spooky apocalypse type of film, I really hope they're shooting their footage right now because this is the time to do it and make New York City look like it is from a horror movie. That's what it looks like right now. It's so sad because it's from the Canadian fires. Like, hey, we're on fire. No, it's from the wildfires in Canada. So sad. I literally woke up and that's how I realized it. I'm in Massachusetts and I woke up the other day and I was like, it looks red outside. Like, why is there a red hue? And then I look it up and there was an air quality warning and it was just crazy. And I know all the events tonight, like around Gov Ball, got canceled and people were getting sent home. They did send out a message saying it wasn't going to get canceled, but I'm like, how do you know it's not going to get canceled if the smoke just keeps coming and getting worse? Like, it's really bad for you to breathe in because it's just from fires. So I can't imagine that they're going to have an outdoor festival where singers are performing and they need healthy lungs to be singing. I feel like even if they do it, a bunch of them are going to drop out because, like, personally, if I was a pop star on tour and like singing in this was bad for me, I would never risk it. That's how you make your income. So I feel like a ton of people are about to drop out. As of right now, I'm recording this on Wednesday night, so we'll see. By the time you listen to this, you'll probably know if it got canceled, if it happened, if the fire just washed out, which I hope it does. I guess we'll know, but I don't think I'm going anymore. So that's just, I guess, a personal update, but the wildfires are crazy. Also, biggest headliner right now, I would say, if that's not a headliner, that's a potential headliner. I guess it's a headliner of a potential headliner. Harry Styles might be performing for the Super Bowl halftime show. And I am telling you, if Harry Styles does a Super Bowl halftime show, that is the first time that the sports people and the pop culture non-sports people will be celebrating the same Super Bowl. Usually we have the fashion people that are like, the Met Gala is our Super Bowl. We have the musical people that are like, Coachella is our Super Bowl. Everybody would be celebrating the same Super Bowl if Harry Styles does the halftime performance. Now, I feel like immediately there's going to be the pushback from the bros, football, sports, beer, frat guys of America. But like, anybody with a brain knows that the NFL would do this to grow the audience of football and get more people to watch this game. If Harry Styles is performing, every single female, straight, gay, everything, every single person who's breathing will tune into the Super Bowl. Whereas it's usually just straight men, and if they're out with girls or with their girlfriends, that's who's watching the Super Bowl. To be super stereotypical, because why not? And I just think marketing wise, it would be absolutely genius. I know, like, to please their audience, they typically go with like a J-Lo, who's just like every man's wet dream. But if they want to grow the game of football, which every single sport has been trying to do, I feel like lately, grow this sport, make it bigger, get a new audience, bring in influencers, aka the F1 races that had everybody up in flames, no pun intended, that all of these influencers were at F1 instead of like actual fans. But I never cared about F1 until I was looking at people's outfits going to F1 because of these influencers. So that's the strategy. If you're mad about it, cry about it. I don't care. That would be fabulous. I would feel watermelon sugar high. So I really hope that that happens. Speaking of sports and growing the games, I am, not to brag, popping off on TikTok a little bit. If you don't follow me, go follow me at It's Cat Ellis with a K. Because I decided to cover what is going on in the world of sports right now, aka the world of golf. If you've ever spoken to a man that likes golf, he's probably been freaking out this week, whether he's told you about it or not. Huge news in the world of golf. I decided to cover it unlike anybody else and just explain it to people who don't give a fuck about sports. And it's really hitting and it's making me really happy. And I love it because I feel like it's genuinely my two personalities merge. I feel like I'm stereotypically a very girly girl and like give like cheerleader, bubbly, blonde, makeup, hair, skincare, nails done vibe. I say nails done, but I haven't had my nails done the last like 6 episodes for anybody watching on YouTube. But I feel like that is the vibe I give off. But I also have a super sporty side to me. But I don't, other than hockey, I don't really care about sports like in the analytical way that other people care about sports. I care about sports in like, I love the tea around sports. I love knowing what celebrities are sitting courtside, what they're wearing, who's dating who, what parties they're at, who's at like the white party with the celebrities that are athletes. Like that's what is fascinating to me. Not like how many points somebody has in a basketball game. That's not what piques my interest personally. So I started this new series on TikTok that I don't have a title for it yet. If I have a title, I came up with it right after this episode. It's basically what I would describe as like reverse mansplaining. So I might call it womansplaining sports to people who don't care about sports. And I'm not just saying girls. Like obviously maybe girls just rolls off the tongue, but I know it's way more than girls. And I obviously know there are girls that know a lot about sports, aka me, who literally worked in sports and sports media for 7 years. I was a ringside reporter, a broadcaster, an editor. I wrote scripts for the anchors on NBC Sports and Boston Sports. Like I know sports. And people are pressing my comments like, oh my God, like, why are you acting like girls know nothing about sports? I'm like, I'm not. I just know that there are people who are interested in tea and not sports. So when there's tea around sports, they want to understand what's going on. And nobody breaks it down to like a beginner intro 101 class level. So I decided that I'm going to start doing that on my TikTok. So if there's anything you guys need explained to you, how this sport works, how the F1 works, what's on Netflix, who's talking to who, like in the sports world, the culture, the rules, the expectations, the outfits you should wear, like that's what I'm doing on my TikTok now. So make sure you go follow me if you're interested in that. It literally is exactly everything I would say to my friends who don't know anything about sports or don't care about sports. It's what I would tell them is going on. That's like, hey, now you'll get when like a TikTok comes up about this, why people are freaking out about it. That is the whole reason I made it and the whole voice it has behind it. And it's actually so good if like you actually don't care about the sport, but like just want to be able to talk to somebody who does. It's actually perfect. And I feel like it's low-key the best in like an office environment, because that's where like you kind of like make office friends, is like your out of office hobbies. And yeah, I don't know, but new, it's fun. Something funny that came of it though was that actually I'm like, should I explain to you guys what's going on, or do I force you to just go to my TikTok? I'll insert it here. Here's my TikTok explaining what's going on in the sports world. If you don't follow sports, but you're nosy and you want to know what all the men in your life are talking about today, I've got the translation guide for you. The girls are
fighting. The PGA Tour is the OG. We love her. We stan her. She's been around forever and she's our queen. But there's people that think that the PGA could be better. She hasn't evolved the way that they think she should. So what they do, they invented LIV Golf. What's the problem with LIV Golf? Well, it is funded by Saudi Arabian blood money. Bad. We stan, we hate. For demonstrative purposes, Balenciaga will represent LIV Golf. Point of view, Balenciaga gets rich. Poof, it has a ton of money. Balenciaga thinks that they can do better than all the other fashion brands. They have the money, they have the resources, and they're like, hey, we're gonna spice things up around here. Make it relevant, they start poaching your favorite celebrities and influencers for hundreds of millions of dollars. But the catch is, if you sign with Balenciaga, you will no longer be allowed to some of your favorite influencer and celebrity events. If you don't sign with Balenciaga, you can still attend the Grammys, the Oscars, the Emmys, New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, the Met Gala, and the American Music Awards. However, if you do sign with Balenciaga, you can now only attend the Emmys, New York Fashion Week, and the American Music Awards. Need I say more on why this is a loss? No. Moving on. Why would they sign with Balenciaga? Well, for one, they're probably either really old and washed up and their moments of fame when they were actually making money are gone. Or it's the opposite and they're really young and they see an opportunity to never have to work a day in their life. The spotlight's not on you. You're not getting brand deals worth nearly this type of money, which all leads back to the common denominator, which is you want to be stupid, dummy, mega rich and throwing stacks every single day of your life and still not run out of money. The most common people that were leaving and signing these deals were the wash-ups. We have Sammy Adams, we have Perez Hilton, Leonardo DiCaprio's. In their prime days, maybe they would have stayed, but now, hell freaking no. MGK's and Megan Fox, do they really care that it's Saudi Arabian blood money? Probably not. The Sway Boys, who probably will never have to work a day in their life if they sign these contracts, so why the hell wouldn't they? And the influencers that will take a fat check to lie for brand deals. Who wouldn't go? Miss Americana herself. She is the goal person to get to sign with Balenciaga. They offer her $1 billion to leave, which they did do with Tiger Woods. She still says no. Drew Barrymore would never. Jeffree Star, we all know, doesn't need a fat paycheck to do a review. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds never even questioned going. And now Blake Lively becomes the spokesperson for not signing with Balenciaga, aka Rory McIlroy. Blake Lively and the commissioner of the fashion world join forces. They're working together for a full year, convincing all of the other celebrities and influencers do not sign with Balenciaga. There's not a question in anybody's mind that they would ever leave and go to Balenciaga. Until this morning. Everybody wakes up this morning to a bomb on Twitter revealing that the entire fashion industry is signing with Balenciaga. Everyone. Every event is going to be sponsored by Balenciaga. Everybody's paycheck is going to come from Balenciaga. What about these celebrities and influencers that didn't take hundreds of millions of dollars to go and sign with Balenciaga? What are they thinking? They had no idea that this was happening, and their last year of going against Balenciaga is now in the trash, in the dumps. And no one knows what's going to happen now.
So, funny enough, one of the golfers who joined LIV, aka Balenciaga, is Brooks Koepka. And Brooks Koepka started to kind of fall off. Like his whole Full Swing is the show on Netflix that was so good that everyone was freaking out about in the beginning of the year. His whole episode was about how he used to be really, really, really good and has kind of fallen back a bit in his more recent years. But just this year, he's won 2 huge tournaments and he's finding a comeback. So I didn't actually specifically mention him in this TikTok, but his wife commented on my TikTok, kissy emojis. And I was like, I don't know if she's doing this in a sarcastic way or in oh, I like this TikTok, keep it going way. I think it was sarcastic. Either way, I don't really care. I'm honored and appreciative that she watched and commented. I'm boosted on the algorithm, girl. I'm going to take it as woman supporting woman and we're just going to keep it going. Slay. But what's the funniest to me, and this is it might come across as really weird, but you'll get what I'm saying at the end of it. She has no idea that a couple weeks ago I was in a room with her husband. And this is the way that I mean this, is that I was at the Florida Panthers game and he was also at the Florida Panthers game right after he won a huge golf tournament. And I was just looking right at him across the rink, which is so funny that to her, I'm just some random girl that she came across my TikTok and just happened to comment on it. And low key, I was in the same room as her husband. I know it's an arena that was completely full and sold out and everybody's how you weren't in a room with him. But technically we were in the same room. But the reason this is funny to me is because it sparks up that conversation people always have about their future wife or husband, everyone always brings up that question of like, I wonder if we were ever in the same place before we met and like just didn't know it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I feel like people say that all the time. They're just like, I wonder where my husband is right now. Like someone who couldn't be more single, like standing on an iceberg single. They're like, I wonder what my husband's doing right now. Like, I wonder if we've ever been in the same grocery store at the same time. And like, you just don't know. It's so funny to me because I know now me and my boyfriend had been in the same place as each other before we ever met or knew who each other were. I happened to go to one of his hockey games and I didn't know who he was and I like barely paid attention to the game, but I know we were in the same room before we ever met. And I think that's so cool. And I think it's so funny. And like, if you think about it on like such a molecular and specific scale, like imagine you literally like bump into your husband walking on the street and then you meet 15 years later and like you'll never know. And that's just so funny to me that like you're like life is a movie, but we never had like the full plot line of the understanding because we see a million different faces every single day. I feel like I sound like I'm high right now. I'm not high, I promise, but that was my thought is just when she commented, I was just like, this is so funny because she has no idea I was like in the same room as her family a couple of weeks ago, but I was, and I'm not just like some random girl. So I guess it's something to keep in mind if you're in public, that someone in public might come back to your life. I don't know where I'm going with this, never mind, but I just thought it was funny. And the other really funny thing about this TikTok doing well specifically is that it's hilarious. I'm breaking news on TikTok about golf. I'm breaking new golf news, but I couldn't even get an email back from that golf club that I applied to and wanted to be a golf cart girl at. I couldn't even get them to respond to my email. Like, not even like oh, Kat, like, we're not hiring. Like, no, thank you. I just got ghosted, toasted. So it's funny that now look who's paying attention. I'm just saying, I would have sold a lot of money. I want to take a second right now and tell you guys about Versus Game. Versus Game is an opportunity for you to make money from your knowledge. Questions are 1v1 and you get paid if you are right. Yep. As a player, you can play for free or you can play with real money by purchasing ticket bundles and going up against players that choose the opposite answer as you. I'm actually going to be coming up with questions you can interact with for the next few weeks via Gigi's pod, Gigi's show. Go play my Versus game at www.versusgame.com on the mobile web. They're going to go live, play, so fun to get interactive with Gigi's. I had another huge revolution this week about my makeup. I was on live and I was just like complaining about the way that my makeup was going on. And I was like, why is it so pilly? It's pilling off my face. It feels cakey, like there's little flakes. I made sure I exfoliated. I made sure I put on enough moisturizer. I waited before I put on my foundation. Like, why does it start to do this all the time? And a girl who happened to be on my live commented and was like, girl, have you paid attention to what's in your products? And I'm like kind of, but like, what do you mean? And she says that you need to pay attention if your makeup products, specifically for like your moisturizer, foundation, concealer, like the wet products, if they are oil-based, water-based, or silicone-based, because whatever that base is, like if it's whatever's put on top of it isn't the same base, they are going to reject each other on your skin. Like everybody knows water and oil do not mix. So if you're putting an oil-based product on your skin and a water-based product on immediately after, they're not going to mix on your face. They're literally going to repel each other and like fight each other off of your face. So that's why your makeup doesn't look as flawless as it should. Even if you're doing all the right steps, if you're just not paying attention to that one little detail, it's going to change everything. So then the question comes. So then I start looking through all of like my makeup and I have 7 products that are oil based, 2 products that are water based, 4 products that are silicone based. How do you choose which base to go with? Do you like oil better or do you like water better? I found that I have products that I really like that are water-based and products that I really like that are oil-based. None of them cohesively went together. So I have to go buy a new type of one of them. I don't know which one I'm going to switch to. Which one should I switch to? Please let me know what you think. It's also evening out, like, whatever it's going to be, because it's going to be like I need to buy like one concealer and a new foundation for this one, or like a new moisturizer for this one. So it's really annoying, but I am excited to see if this fixes my problem, because I do feel like I have a good amount of knowledge of makeup and skincare and preparation, that it should not be coming out the way that it is. Like, I'm not giving birthday cake. We are Pisces. Our birthday was in March. We don't need to be looking like this. So if your makeup's looking like that, pay attention to that. I know another factor of that is if your makeup has sunscreen in it. That's like a whole nother, you got to pay attention to that. That's why we're getting cake face. And I feel like all of the makeup artists know this, and they're like low-key kind of keeping it from us. Because they just like want theirs to look a little more flawless, so we pay them the extra money. But that's the secret. I know I've heard about it before, but I forgot about it, because when like a new foundation comes out, you're just like, oh, I want to try it, but you don't pay attention to if it will match the current moisturizer or primer that you have. So that's something to check. If the way that I was doing the research on it, the way that it came across was like, if one of the first ingredients listed is water or agua or H2O, however they're phrasing it, that's typically a water base. If in the beginning products in the product list all end in a bunch of cones, like, I don't remember what the prefixes of them were, but it was like candle cone, water cone, not water cone. That was an awful example. Paletho cone, stick cone. Then they're typically silicone based. Sorry, I just couldn't think of words. I was looking around the room like, what do I have in here? A candle cone. But anything that like ends with cone typically is a silicone base. And then if you see something that has this type of oil, it's an oil base. A lot of them, if you Google the specific product, you can find what somebody said of what it is. That's how you figure out the research. It hasn't been like, I wish it was labeled clearly on every product. It's labeled clearly on some of them. Like, it'll be like I know like the Neutrogena Hydro Boost is water based, but not all of them are that clear. So if you're confused, definitely Google it. There was an article that came up immediately. I'm like, I will try to help you and let you know. But we are on a rediscovering makeup journey from here on out. I also have a question for hairdressers. Do you guys just not do arm days ever? Like, do you just not work out your arms or shoulders or upper back? Because today was a hair wash day for me. And before I was even conditioning, I was gassed. My arms were shaking. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to get this conditioner in and around my hair, wash it all out, get out, blow dry, and then style. Like, I was legit like, my arms were shaking so much. So I'm like, if I was a hairdresser, I would quite literally never exercise my arms. Those girls and boys got to be toned AF. Like, holy cow, hair wash days suck. I also think that if men had extensions, they would never wash their hair. And I feel like they come at us with like oh, like, you don't wash your hair. You only wash your hair once a week. That's kind of gross. I wash my hair every single day. Like, if you guys had to wash your hair with 22-inch extensions, you would not wash it more than once a month, honestly. That is a fact. I don't even have extensions. I'm saying this. I don't have extensions in right now. I have actually never had permanent extensions. I only have clip-ins. But don't come at us saying we're late and stuff. You would be late too if you had to wash your hair. It's freaking awful. Awful. Well, y'all, it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this little mini episode. Feel free to slide into my DMs if you want to chat. Come on my TikTok if you want to chat. Come on my live. And I know this wasn't like the full dose that you usually get, but I figured it was better than nothing, because everybody needs a little bit of me in their life. Okay. But if you feel like you need that like big oomph dose of GG's, please feel free to message me. We can interact all the time on social media. hopefully we'll be back next week. I love you guys so much. Also, update check on what we talked about my last solo episode when I was like, take control of your life, do what you want to do, that thing you've been putting off, do it. Have you done it yet? Have you done that thing yet? Have you tried to do that thing yet? Have you quit your job yet? If you haven't, start now. I felt like Dwayne The Rock Johnson saying that. Start now. It starts now. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Have the best weekend ever. We're so close, so close to summer. It's basically summer. And life is good. Life is precious. Thankful for every single day. I'm thankful for every single one of you. You are sunshine. You are light. And we're so thankful to have all of you. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, for following. See you next week. Bye.